Welcome to Of Course She Did, a Vancouver Island Knitters podcast where we chat about craft, connection, and our unique coastal community. We're four friends who are two today who have decided to knit boldly, make mistakes proudly, and finish projects
eventually.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, I'm Jody, and I got all tied up in Duncan.
Of course she did.
You know it. We are here with the lovely Jennifer, who owns All Tied Up, a great yarn store in Duncan. My first question is, how did you come up with that name?
Oh, I wanted something that was a little bit,
Risque.
Risque, yes. I mean, humor and risque tend to attract attention. So I thought this was the way to go. And I thought all wound up was okay, but I thought all tied up was way more wicked.
Yes. I love that you said that, because that was going to be my next question was, and my brain goes to. I love that.
And truth be known, this is our second time attempting an interview with Jennifer. The first time we had so much fun and the audio just was not up to snuff. And so Jennifer's very generous with her time and attention and has allowed us to bring better equipment and be more prepared up here so that we can better showcase who she is and what she does and how lovely and bright this yarn store is.
It is so spacious. The ceilings are so high, and it just feels so big and open and ready when you come in here.
This is a new spot for me. We were here, or I was in a different location for 7 years, and it came time for a new lease, and it wasn't going to work out to stay where I was. So I ended up here, and it was hilarious because when I first walked in here with the realtors, they turned on the lights and immediately said, "Oh my God, it's far too bright in here." And I'm going, no, this is what I need is bright light so people can see the colors. And then I found out the ceiling was 18 and a half feet up.
Wow.
And it's a lovely spot. And I'm so excited to actually have a storage room.
Nice. It is one of the biggest, I think my biggest complaints about yarn stores is, can I go outside with this? Because I need to compare the colors in real light, and I don't feel like that would ever happen in here.
Yeah, you don't have to do that here, which is fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, great.
Bonus points.
So this is a relatively new location for you.
Yes, just over a year, actually, about 14 months now. We closed the old location in 2024 on October 15th. I did not have a lease signed at that point.
That's so
but
scary.
I had to be out by the 31st. So I had a sale, and then I shut on the 15th thinking, if nothing else, I have to get everything into storage.
Yeah.
So I started packing up things, and I was working with realtors, and finally I signed the lease here on the 18th of October. And I was open again on November 15th.
Amazing.
My son and I put in the flooring, and he built me some extra shelving. And, here we are.
Do you find your traffic's better here?
Yes, I think so.
It's such a good location right on the main
main
drag.
drag.
Yeah, the amount of people that come in and say, "Oh, I didn't know there was a yarn store in Duncan." And it's like, I'm 1 block away from where I was.
Yeah. So much more exposure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
And so can you tell us a little bit about how you came to being the owner of the local yarn store in Duncan?
Well, I was in a unique moment in my life. I was between jobs, could not find a job to save my life, but I also had inherited a bit of money. So I thought, well, this is your opportunity to start something that you want to do. And I thought, well, what is it I love to do? Because I want to get up in the morning and want to go to work. So I thought back in my lifetime, and it's like, well, knitting has always been a thing for me. Ingrid's wool shop had been downtown, and they had closed 2 years previously. And the other knitting place, which is nearby, is the Loom, and they're out at Whippletree Junction. But people kept saying, I need something in town because I can't walk out there. So I started immediately trying to find someplace downtown because I thought, well, that would be the best thing to do. But couldn't find anything at that time. So I found this one on the other side of town, the other side of the tracks, as it were.
The wrong side
On
of
the wrong
tracks.
side of town. And I did my research, talked with Ingrid, and I even went out to the Loom and warned her I was going to open, but I wasn't going to try to duplicate what she did. I didn't think that was very nice to do. So she was not amused at first, but I think now we're fine with each other.
So how was your vision different for your own thing?
Well, I wanted to make sure that I had a variety of things here. Not everybody wants to work with wools, and I needed to be able to accommodate every single sort of price level that people are willing to pay. So I have acrylics, but they're the nicer acrylics. I have lots of wool and alpaca and all sorts of things. But I did accommodate for every budget, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good vision to have, so you can try and hit more of the clientele.
Yeah.
Would you say your clientele is more older or younger, or?
It's a good mix. They seem to be in all sorts of age levels. I see little children learning. They're doing finger knitting in school and such, so they just think that's fantastic. And next thing you know, they're begging mom or dad to bring them to the yarn shop and let's get something for me to work on at home. So there's that, and then I've got the people that are just retired and looking for something to keep their hands busy, and it's a good option for them.
I know my daughter's 30, and I know she talks about grandma hobbies, and they are like kind of the current trend to do knitting or crocheting. Do you see a lot of young people sort of under the age of 30? Or
I do. Yeah. A lot of them are just learning. Others have been knitting for a long time. I started when I was 6.
That was my next
wow,
question.
yeah.
That's young.
So yeah, it was, I sort of taught myself.
Yeah.
When I first started to read, I found this little booklet in the house, and it was a different time. I would get home from school, and I would walk home, and I was in the house alone, and I had chores to get done. My brothers were allowed to go out and play hockey, of course. So I did my chores, and then I would either read or I would find something else to do, but I wasn't allowed to leave the house. So I found this little booklet, and I picked up a pair of needles and a ball of yarn that was in the house. I guess my mom had thought about doing something at some point. She was a sewer. So I taught myself how to knit.
Amazing.
And that little booklet also did crochet and tatting and embroidery. So that little booklet was...
Do you still have it?
I actually found one at the thrift store. I was so excited. I bought the little thing. It's a bright green cover. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I looked at it and went, that's my nirvana right there.
That started your life journey.
That started my life journey.
Were you a dedicated knitter your whole life? Because I learned at age 8, most people do it in brownies or from your grandparent or something, but I didn't really start knitting until I was 16. What age were you when you really dedicated, like constant knitting?
It was...
Right away.
Right away.
Oh. Amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I was in the house.
Yeah,
right.
You were bored.
I did my vacuuming. I did the silver. I did the all those things that I had to do. But then I had free time, and
your me time was
it was knitting or reading.
Yeah.
And I also got into crochet. And I did try tatting once, and I went, no, not for me. And embroidery. I love true embroidery, not so much the cross stitch, right? So I learned all that. And then, of course, I became the queen of macrame at one point. And so you keep doing all these wonderful fiber type projects, and it's, it becomes part of your life.
And I mean, creativity seems to be a real part of who you are, because you don't just do fiber arts. You do
No,
so much more.
I do other things. So I'm a singer. I'm part of a couple of choirs right now. I've also been a rock singer. I have done operettas. I have no training, so how I'm doing this, I'm not sure. I have an album out with one of the groups that I had. We're on Spotify, so it's Third Rock, and we're on there.
Okay.
There's a few songs that I wrote as part of our album. It was a while back, so it's kind of dated, but it's kind of fun. And right now I'm with a blues band, and
Wow.
that's going really well. So,
And I feel like I would be amiss if I didn't point out kind of one of the things I'm passionate about, and the artwork the cards that you have for sale, and the artwork on your walls,
yes.
the paintings.
Well, I have to admit, only one of the paintings that is here is actually mine. It's the one with the sheep.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. When I first opened my other place, I knew I was going to want lots of paintings, and I was going to do sheep all over the walls.
Yeah.
And so I sat down one Sunday afternoon and I painted a 3x5 painting of sheep.
I can't believe you did that in an afternoon.
It was
It's beautiful.
ridiculous. I worked at a children's art studio at one point, and I was teaching them art. But one of the things that we had to do when we first opened the studio, we had to fill the walls with art.
Yeah.
We had 2 weeks to do that. So we were given different books on different styles of art. So they said, okay, you have 2 hours to paint a painting, and they gave me a 4x4 canvas.
Wow.
So
Doesn't
I
seem like very
painted
much time.
Picasso's
Quick and dirty.
Yeah, I painted Picasso's Blue Man with Guitar, and yeah, it is now in my house.
Is that fast, Erin? You're a painter.
That's fast. I agonize over every brush stroke. So
Oh, I unfortunately am now a speed painter. So
Wow.
because of that, I probably could get into a lot more detail if I really set my mind to it. But it's hard to set up everything and then take it down constantly. I don't
Yeah.
have a dedicated space. But all of the greeting cards that I have in my store are paintings that are in my house. One my sister stole and took it to her house.
Sisters are the
you know
worst.
you're good when you steal your painting.
She just needed a big painting. so the seal underwater floating amongst the kelp, that is in her home.
I bought some of your cards the last time I was here, and
Yes,
I
you
gave them to
did.
my son for Christmas.
Oh.
They were crows, and he loves them.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I've had people say they've framed them. They're all over the world now. They've gone to.
that's so
I
gratifying.
heard they went to Russia once, Greece. I think a couple went to Germany. So yeah, I feel like I'm kind of a
You are
worldly.
accomplished.
famous.
Well, I wouldn't say famous, maybe infamous.
You definitely, your creative well seems very deep and very and varied. You have so many different things you do.
Well, I've always said I'm ridiculously good at doing things that will never make me money. So, so there we are.
See, and I just think I'm enthusiastic. I'm not really good at it. Just enthusiastic.
Oh, I bet you
I get
are.
obsessive, but
I'm sure you're better than you think.
I
That's the
don't
way
know.
it is.
I don't know about that, but what kind of inspires you in your art? I mean, I'm kind of thinking knitting, because that's what I'm obsessed with. But what inspires you? What gets you excited?
Sometimes I'm obsessing about some subject that I've been listening to on a podcast, or I had to throw that in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Or maybe something I've seen when I've been out and about, or sometimes like if I want, I'm driving down the road, I'll have a song start to go through my head, and I'll write it down, and next thing I know, I've got a song. Or I'll see a beautiful scene outdoors and think, oh, that would be really cool. But I don't take that picture to do the
To paint from
thing.
it.
I just kind of come up with something out of my mind. Whatever kind of flows out of the fingertips is what happens. Knitting socks, well, it's just kind of fun.
We talk a lot about, are you a process knitter or a product knitter? You know, is it the process of picking the yarn and the pattern and the stitches, or is it what you have when you're done? Which one do you think you are?
That's myself. What you're hearing.
That's all right.
I'm. I don't know. I think it's more the process. I love the work. I'm not always the best at getting something finished.
That makes me think the last time we were here, you were knitting some sweaters for your children.
Yes.
Well, they're adult children.
They
your
are,
sons.
yes.
And how did they turn out?
I need to pull back on something because I had some time off of working on it. I had broke my wrist, so I couldn't knit for a little while, and then I went back to it, and I did not get my stitches right in my head. I was thinking I had to have 6 rows before I did my cable, but no, it was only 4. So when I put it up against the other ones, it was very wrong. So I have to pull back, and it's okay. I'll get back to it.
That doesn't discourage you, or
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So these poor boys, my men,
They'll
my young
always
men.
be your boys.
Yeah, I know. They've been waiting a long time because this is the second time I had broke my wrist. Same wrist in 4 years. So they've been waiting a very long time, and I just hope I get it done before I die.
When you're picking a project to knit, do you look around your store and a yarn speaks to you and then you find the pattern to match, or do you have a pattern that you fall in love with and then match the yarn to it?
I think I'm more of I see a pattern and I find the yarn, but I also come up with patterns in my head.
Oh, really?
And then I go and I grab something and I go, okay, I'm going to make it with this. Sometimes it's successful. Most of the time it is. But like I said, I'm notoriously bad about not necessarily finishing anything. I love doing color work, so I like to make graphs and that sort of thing, which is kind of fun.
That's funny because that's what all of us in our podcast, all of us are doing some form of color work right now.
Ooh, beautiful.
I'm showing her my Song of the Moon with Copper Spoon's Hawaiian Punch.
That's gorgeous. It reminds me, I did a cowl once, and it was elephants walking around it.
Sweet.
So
and
that
was that a
kind of
pattern you created in your head?
Well, it was kind of adapted from a toque that I saw online, and I thought, oh, I could do that. And then when I had my ribbing to get done, I did black and then the color in between each one. So it alternated, and it made it nice and big to go around my neck. But
Oh, that's
That
that
pops of
phrase. Oh,
color.
I could make that. That gets me into trouble so
oh,
often.
I understand.
So often.
I understand. I am in the middle of a quilt as well that I've been, well, not a quilt. Sorry, an Afghan sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's the what do they call it? The Persian tile.
Oh,
which
geez,
is
that
normally
thing's a
done.
commitment.
They're just like a little thing. Yeah,
But
no,
forever.
I idiotically decided to do it in worsted. So I've got these 1 foot. What are they? Octagons?
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
One, two-
they're
yeah,
stop signs.
So anyway, I've got enough to do a 5 foot square blanket at this point without the actual border. I still have to do the little corner pieces and the squares in between.
That thing is stunning and a
And
commitment.
every single row has a different color, and I changed them as I went.
Yeah.
So
But the sewing up, that would scare me off. That.
That's the worst.
The worst part about it is finding somewhere to lay it down and actually work out what's going where.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be beautiful if I ever get it
That'll
finished.
be a work of art to hang
It
up.
will. You could
yeah.
put that on the wall in here.
Well, my plan was that it was going to be a lap blanket that I wanted to make. And my husband saw them, and he went, oh, you need to make one bigger than that. So the next thing I know,
Famous
it's
last
like,
words.
oh yeah, you're not the one making this, buddy. So here we are. It's gonna probably fit our bed, but we have a
That'll
cat.
be an heirloom.
Yeah, unless the cat gets at it.
Close the door. Get out.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a fave yarn in the store that you like to work with the most, or do you like all of them?
I do love all of them. The problem is these reps come here and they have suitcases full of wonderful stuff. So I buy too much, and the next thing I know, things show up and it's like, oh, I forgot about that, and then you squeeze it and it's like, oh, I'm gonna just die here. This is wonderful. But I think right now I'm really getting into the gathering yarns stuff.
And
Just
there's a
it's
story
good,
behind
basic,
that.
but it's
Please tell us.
Roy and Cindy Tisdale, they lived on Vancouver Island, and they were wool reps for different wholesalers. So they would go around North America, and they would sell yarn to yarn shops and everything. But they started going to the woolen mills and finding out how things were getting made. And one day they took a look at a pile of leftover things that a company had not taken. And they said, well, what happens with that? And they said, well, we tend to just sell it off. They said, well, how about if we buy it from you? And they started doing something that they called a one-shot series. So because they didn't know if they could get it again, they would just sell it as one shot. So I was one of those experimental places where they brought some, and it went over well. Well, they got so popular with it, they started to order their own yarns.
Yeah, like not the leftover.
Exactly, not leftovers. Now it's specifically made for them with proper dye lots, and they can get it again.
Amazing.
And and they're doing great.
And they're such, to me, they're very homey and natural, and
they're lovely people. Just
Canadian.
lovely
It,
people.
it
The
looks and
yarns.
feels Canadian
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, that's a good point. I like that. Yeah.
And they unfortunately moved away from the island simply because of transporting and driving around to places. They're still very hands-on. Roy has had a few medical issues that have come up in the last while, but Cindy's still out there, and he's
Amazing.
manning the fort.
Makes it.
And they have staff. So
Makes the yarn more appealing when you kind of know the story. At least to me, it does.
exactly.
Yeah. To me, that's been the best part about like gathering my friends to knit with is that it's a community. And then we started, going to the markets and the fibre festivals and meeting and talking to people, and you have these faces behind the yarn and now behind the shops that it feels so much more inclusive, welcoming.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's such a strong community, the knitting community.
Oh, it's
just so
it's a
lovely.
fantastic thing. Knitting is so good for your mental health. When I see a
Amen.
lonely person, I always invite them to I always invite them to come and join in with our knit natters.
Oh, nice.
So we have knit natters on Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons officially, but there's still people that drop in any old time, and that's fine as long as I'm open. I'm always willing to let somebody sit and knit and meet up with people that are like-minded. And I've seen a lot of people that have been very lonely. Maybe they're on their own for the first time in their lives, or have just moved to the area and don't know anyone, and it has really helped them out, having a community of like-minded people that they could hang out with, and they're all becoming good friends.
Well, and this is like I was going to say my favorite part of the story. Okay, I love the yarn, but the little like seating area at the husband crash.
Oh yeah, I call it the husband holding pen as well.
It's perfect. Like that to me means like, come, you're welcome. Like
Sit and
stay
knit a
a
spell.
while.
Yeah, that was one of my criteria when I was getting ready to open, because I really knew what it's like to feel isolated,
Yeah.
and I wanted to make sure that there was a sense of community that was associated with the shop. So I think it's been achieved. People are loving it, and
That's important, that sense of community, that you can push that out into Duncan and downtown Duncan and
exactly.
into the bigger community.
I mean, that being said, do you have any like local yarn store do's and don'ts? What is the kind of etiquette you like to see in your store?
Oh, etiquette. Oh my gosh. Okay. Number one, please squeeze the wool. It's not a sensible thing to buy wool without actually touching it first.
That's so true.
If you have questions, ask them. But one thing I found, there was this one day when a lady came in and she started taking pictures, which was okay. She thought it was a really great store. She says, "Do you mind if I just take a couple?" After she'd already taken a few. And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." So anyway, she kept it up for quite a while, and she even took pictures of the people that were knitting. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And it turned out later she was planning on opening a store, and she says, "I really like your store, and I'm going to follow what you did."
She's copying.
And I thought, "Oh my goodness, you could have asked me about that first."
That felt like it went a little over.
So that felt like it was
boundary.
it was over the line. But beyond that, everything else, everybody seems to be very respectful of everyone. I haven't had anybody have meltdowns or
Cry when your friend tells you to put back the yarn.
oh, I've had that.
That wasn't me, just so everybody knows.
Oh, sure.
Because she would just tell us.
I
where
don't
to
remember
shove
that
it.
at all.
Step away from the yarn. Erin and I were having
Back
a giggle.
away.
Of,
Beep, beep,
yes.
beep.
What if we spoke to our friends in yarn stores the way we speak to our pets? Drop that. Don't eat it. Stop licking that.
We did play around with the idea of putting a shock collar on me next time we came into a yard.
Oh my goodness.
Jennifer, what is the most memorable story or maybe product or sweater or garment that someone brought in to show you or ask for help with?
Oh my goodness. I had a gentleman come in with a sweater once, and it was one that his mom had been knitting for him. And unfortunately, the good lady had passed away.
Yeah.
So I took on the challenge and I finished it for him.
Wow.
He wanted to pay me for it. I didn't let him because it just it
that's
didn't
not what
seem
it's
right
for.
at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a wonderful thing, I thought.
Have you heard of the Loose Ends Project?
I have heard of it.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
that, I heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where any of those people are, but I have heard of the project.
It's a website. They actually work out of, I think it's Massachusetts. But
okay.
I actually just participated as a volunteer, as a finisher for them. So
Very
that's why
nice.
it came to mind to ask about that. But it's a great feeling to give someone that comfort, because really knitting is love. At least that's how I view it. You're knitting love into every stitch. And so to be able to finish that project for someone, obviously for you, meant a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing that I did that I really loved, there's a gentleman that sells eggs at the market. I've always called him the chicken guy. He's his name's Hank, and he had a sweater that was very intricate color work and very multiple colors, very fine, and he wore it for everything. And I guess he snagged it on something, and the next thing he knew, he had a rather sizable hole in the stomach.
Uh-oh.
And he brought it in, and he said, "Could you fix this for me?" And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, I can do visible knitting, or visible mending for you.
Yeah.
So what I did was I made a sun up at the top on the shoulder where it had been destroyed. There was a good 1.5 inch hole there. So I made a sun, and I applied that over top. And then on the big open spot that was down near his abdomen, I ended up making a giant egg with a chicken inside.
Oh.
And he just, I've never seen so much shock as when he saw it, because I don't think he realized what I was going to do. And he wore it to the market, and he said, you know what? People love my sweater with the chicken, and the sunshine. And
He's the chicken man.
How wise of
chicken
you
man.
to use it to think about your crowd with that. That's amazing.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
How do you keep up on knitting trends, you know, trends in color or trends in fiber? How do you stay ahead of those trends?
I'm not very good at that. People come in and they tell me, oh, I'm getting ready to do such and such a thing. And then I start looking for something that will
Right.
accommodate that. Because I hear that something is taking off. For instance, the, what do they call them? The sailor slippers. They're huge. You
Yes.
knit, they're massive, and then you shrink them down.
Yeah, it's
And-
it's on Ravelry, all over Ravelry.
Yeah, all
right
over
now,
the place. And it's like, I don't understand the idea behind shrinking something to fit. But anyway, that's fine. That's not for me. It's for them. Of course, they were looking for specific wool for that. So
That would felt well, yeah.
That would felt well.
So it sounds like you kind of listen to more about what your customers want than trying to tell them what they want in advance.
I am a little more that way. Yeah. I mean, if I had more time in my life that I could dedicate to more research, I would do that. But I have a bad habit of saying, well, let's just say I'm just a girl who can't say so I'm
A knitter after our own needles.
I'm constantly doing something. I was helping out with some costuming and doing graphic work for the Couch
Is there
Musical
anything
Society.
you can't do? I'm just curious.
Anything that will make me money.
There's that.
But so do you we just saw Elizabeth leave, so so do you have more than the one employee, or
No, I have my girl Friday. Elizabeth is invaluable to me. She's great. She knows stuff. That was one of the criteria that I needed to meet when I hired anybody. They had to know what they were doing. One of the biggest complaints I hear when people come in is that they've been to department stores and no one there knew anything
Don't know how to
and
help.
couldn't help them. So they're amazed when we can help them figure out these mysterious stitches that are not working for them. When we can make a suggestion and change the type of yarn without them having to gas and begali. So we'll do the calculations and get the right wool and the...
Oh my God, you do knitting math for your customers?
Oh, yeah.
You're the best.
Oh, we're crazy. And then I've got the little charts that I've done that I've put on my webpage. I have a handy charts section. So I've got, I spent a weekend and I figured out how much yarn you need to do different projects for knitting and crocheting on average.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've got that here in the store on a
Right
it's
there on the
behind
wall
me on the
behind
wall
you. I
behind
see
you
it.
or behind me. I've got what wraps per inch are, how
They
to
confuse me. Just for the record, wraps per inch is just weird.
well,
Just do
if
the
you have
stitches.
if you have a mystery ball and you really
Fair.
are not quite sure, if you do the wraps per inch, then you're going to actually find out what size needles you would need as well.
Confuses me.
It's good. We should learn.
We should
We
learn.
should
Yeah.
learn it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
would
simple.
be good.
Once
All right,
you
we've learned
once you
something to learn.
yeah.
When I go traveling, I love to look for a skein, like a souvenir skein. Do you get a lot of tourism here, and do you carry certain yarns or skeins that speak to people that are traveling to here?
Well, I would like to say I have local yarns. I cannot seem to find anyone that is willing to sell me a ball of yarn that they have done their own dyeing or their own
Really?
spinning.
Because there's a lot of local dyers.
There's a lot of wonderful dyers in this area, but they want full price. And if I charge a little bit extra, which I wouldn't charge a lot extra for local, but
you have to pay for
you
their
have
space.
to pay for their
Yeah.
space, and I have to make it worth my while that I've actually paid for it in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm finding that's a little bit hard to do. So if there's anyone out there that is interested in working with me as a
sell their stuff.
sell your stuff here.
I would have. Yeah, I guess I don't understand. Like, if you're selling something, I would have thought it would be better to drop the price a little and sell more of it.
Well, I
and
guess
get that exposure as well.
And maybe they're just doing smaller lots, right?
Yeah. Well, craft
and a lot
fairs
of
and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
seem
and
to
people
be-
have said to me that they don't really want to sell to a store. I think they don't think of this as a little shop. I don't know. So they don't want to sell it to a store because they're worried about dye lots and everything. And they say, well, what if this person decides they want more and they want the same dye lot? And I say, well, I just have to tell them it's a one. Well, like Roy and
that's why this
Roy
is
and
so
Cindy,
special,
right? It's
and
a
that's
one
why-
shot.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
I've
guess
had
with
a few little odds and ends from time to time. There was a lovely place in the Cowichan Valley that had a wool, or they had sheep, and also some llamas, and they were great. I finally saw them. They came here. They brought tons of stuff in the back of their car. I was so excited. And I said, wonderful. So I'm going to be able to order more from you. Well, we've just sold this farm.
Oh, shoot. I
So I
sense
just
a business.
cried.
I sense you starting another business here, of making your own yarn and dyes. Oh, it's endless. There's always something new to learn.
Oh yeah,
and
you
do.
can fill your entire life with it without
And
ever
how
getting
we
to
do.
sleep. Yeah, sleep. Who needs sleep?
Yeah.
No, because I lie in bed thinking about yarn and knitting.
I understand.
Awful.
I know.
To our left, around our wonderful husband Penn here, I see the lending library. Can you tell me about your lending library?
Oh, well, people will start cleaning out their stuff. I'm downsizing. Could you use these books? And it's like, well, I can't really sell them. They're used books. So I thought, well, why don't I open up a lending library? So I have a bunch of very good books, and all you need to do is give me your name and phone number, and you can use it for a time, and then you bring it back, and that's it.
Such a great honor system. I love that. So people can take it home, knit something out of it, or copy the pattern, and then bring it back to you.
Exactly. I
Maybe
believe
not
that
copy the pattern. We're not saying
we're not
that.
saying that's to be done. But they can keep it for a couple of months if they need to.
Right, and knit the pattern from it
Knit the
if they so
pattern from
desire
it.
to. Yeah.
We certainly wouldn't want to encourage people to do that.
This is
Nobody
why I
does.
don't run a business.
Yeah. So Anyway, it's a lovely way of doing things, and people have always brought them back.
I
So
was going to say,
I
your
feel
honor
that
system's working.
people are more honest than not.
But what
Amazing.
another lovely way of building that community of, being able to share what you can share. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're beautiful books, and I expect you girls will want to borrow something at some point.
Just might. I don't know.
My list of things that I am going to be knitting.
How many are in your queue, Erin?
Well, my queue is different. There's only 800, but that's like
Only 800.
But like maybe there's only 50 of stuff I have plans for.
Well,
Like,
there you go.
She's amazing.
Sometimes you just want to look at something for a while and get an idea if that is something you really want to do.
I just want to retire and knit all the time. That's what I want to do.
I
Work
know.
just gets in my way. So you've been open for roughly 8 years. Did I do those calculations right?
Yes, I opened my original spot in May of 2018.
Do you have different or bigger plans? A 10-year plan or something different you want to do with your space
I'm
or
not quite
future?
sure yet. I keep going back and forth. This is hilarious. I am into pottery, so so I make
Nothing
playthings.
she can't do, folks.
Well, no, I can't use a wheel to save my life, but I do slab stuff and I build sculpturally.
Amazing.
So I keep thinking, what if I did a wool shop / ceramic supply shop? So I actually considered that when I was looking for this spot.
Oh, wow.
Whether or not to find something with a big garage door on one side and a shop on
And a
one.
pottery wheel space on the other.
Yeah, well,
and
I
a
was thinking that
kiln.
I could do all the clay over there. And
So
then
what's through that wall that we're knocking out?
nail salon.
Oh, bye-bye. No, I'm sorry, nail salon. You're lovely, but
There's a lot of them in this town.
in every town, it's like Starbucks and nails.
I know.
It's a
What's going
thing.
on with that?
I don't know. It's too expensive for me.
I work with clay. I don't care about my nails.
I'd rather knit. I'd rather
Yeah.
buy yarn.
Yeah. I mean, but that being said, you could, I'm imagining just if you took that idea with any or all of your, like you could set up a place to paint and do host paint nights. And you could, you're only limited by your imagination because
And
your
hours
list
in
of,
the day.
yeah, because your list of hobbies is so long. Or is,
I know.
Is hobbies an appropriate word or is that demeaning?
Interests, hobbies, passions.
Interests.
Interests? Okay.
Sure, something in there. Yeah, I mean, the problem is working during the day, then you do all your other things at night. So people keep saying to me, we should have some nighttime knitting. And it's like, oh, but I've got this on that night and this on that night. And oh, dear. Yeah, I can't do no. So I haven't done it yet. But I am hoping one day to have a drunk knitting night.
I'm in. Count me in. I'm number one.
I'm just thinking the amount of times we've done that and regretted it.
Oh, my gosh.
The mistakes that have been made.
Yes,
just gonna
and then we
say-
just the thing is, as a store owner, if I was to have a drunk drinking night
Yeah.
or knitting night here, I
Knit
would
and
have
sip.
to make sure I have a way to get everybody home safely. Right.
Yeah.
So
you have
that-
to cover yourself with that. And
Yeah, there is the Cheers van. That goes to the different pubs and takes people home.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've
maybe
never
I
heard of
could
that.
arrange
We've done
for that.
winery tour with,
Yeah.
with Cheers.
Yeah.
I think she's from this Cowichan Valley. And
Yes, she is.
It was, what I remember was delightful.
Yes, I'm proud of you for remembering.
I remember most of it.
most of it. Amazing.
That's too
amazing.
funny.
Is there anything we haven't asked you about that you would love to tell us about your store? Because it really is very bright and beautiful, and
Well, thank you.
I want everyone to stop in at All Tied Up.
Well, me too. I would love everyone to come in and have a look. Hopefully choose to buy something, but if you just want to come in and squeeze the wool,
the
that's
balls.
fine too.
Well, there's a fantastic selection, not only in the yarns, but also, if you found yourself, you're going up to Mount Washington and, you might not want to ski the whole time, that, there's needles and the books and patterns
Exactly.
and stuff. So, I mean, you can kind of just stop and
Yeah, I've
and
got
get what you
cross
need
stitch
to.
cross-stitch kits. I've got, try to think here, I have little aragurumi kits
Crochet
right now.
kits.
Crochet
that's the right word.
kits
Yeah.
to make little critters. I have some embroidery kits coming. So yeah, there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Originally, I was going to be an art store as well as the wool, but I discovered that people didn't want to buy good quality art supplies. They
supplies.
wanted dollar store
Yeah,
projects. So
yeah.
so that kind of disappeared. That's why I was originally All Tied Up yarn and crafts, and then I thought, no, I'm moving away from that.
Yeah.
So I had a big sale on my art supplies, and in the first day, I sold more than I had in 3 years.
That tells you.
That tells you a
I am a
lot.
sucker for a sale. Do you have like a clearance section or a?
I have a few oil paints left, and that's it. Yeah.
And do you have that for your yarn as well, or do you?
I've had 1 or 2 sales over the years. I find it doesn't really work well for me. I try to keep my prices as
As low as regularly,
possible. Yeah, I don't jack them up extra because I can. I want to make sure everyone can afford to do this wonderful hobby that I think saved my life over time. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts is you've got the little punch cards and
Yes.
your reward system. Do you want to tell us about that?
Oh, it's like getting drinks at the coffee shop and you get your card stamped. So you buy from me 9 times, anything over $5 or more for the purchase. You get a stamp, and on your 10th stamp, you get a percentage off. So it works out nicely.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I started my card. I started my card last time. So, I really appreciate the opportunity to come back and kind of redeem ourselves for lack of.
Yeah, I kept looking for it. I was like, I know they were here. I don't think I imagined that, but I had a feeling something had gone wrong with the sound.
My techno-whiz took some time and some effort trying to see if he could clean things up and fix it, and then I just thought, I don't want to put anything. I mean, what we do is rough enough. We don't need to be crappier.
And you deserve better.
Yeah.
This store deserves better, and
I
we wanted to
appreciate
give you
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
and it's great to see you girls anyway.
It's always fun.
It's always fun and just being able to kind of just highlight who's here on the island and what they're doing to me is just super exciting.
I think that's great because this
It's
island
definitely
deserves,
worth the stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to do this. And we're so glad that you joined us this week
Thank
up
you,
in
Jennifer.
Duncan. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
A special thanks to our Techno-Whiz Matt and our sponsors, Chrysalis Counseling and Ingrid Stenerson RMT. Please subscribe where you listen, like and follow and comment and connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. And we will also in the show notes have places that you can find out about Jennifer and her store and her music.
All tied up. Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.
Bye.